I married a man with kids and took on a stepmom role I never wanted. Now he wants me to parent alone while he plays poker, and I'm finally saying no. My husband has two sons from his previous marriage, 12 and 14. They're really sweet kids, but let's be honest, they're teenage boys. They're wild, they roughhouse constantly, they're messy beyond reason, and listening isn't exactly something they've mastered yet. I don't have biological kids of my own, so I've had a learning curve with all this, but I met the boys about 4 years ago when I started dating their dad, and we've all been living together now for about 2.5 years. Last summer, we ended up moving about 60 miles away from our old house. It's a bit of a long story, but the main reason was that their mom, my husband's ex, got remarried. Her new husband lived in another part of the state, and it just didn't feel fair for the boys to be stuck commuting back and forth all the time. So, we decided to move closer to them to ease the strain on the kids. My husband still commutes to his job from where we are now, and I work from home full-time, so it made the most logistical sense that I'd be the one around during the day. We share 50-50 custody, but during the school year, we don't have the boys on Monday or Tuesday nights. Those 2 days a week, my husband plays bar poker, just local, low-stakes games that he enjoys. The place he plays at is actually near our old house, so when he goes on Mondays and Tuesdays, he usually stays overnight with friends rather than drive all the way back. It's a long trip and poker can run late, so it makes sense, I guess. To be totally honest, it's not my favorite arrangement. I don't love the fact that he's not home 2 nights a week, especially with how busy our lives are. But that said, I've always made a conscious effort to support him having his own time and his own hobbies. He didn't really have that in his first marriage, and I never want him to feel like he's losing his sense of self just because he's married again. So I try to be understanding, even when it's not exactly easy. So, things recently came to a head with our summer custody schedule. During the school year, things have a certain rhythm. We never have the boys on Monday or Tuesday nights, and those are the nights my husband typically uses to go out and play bar poker. It's low-stakes stuff, more of a social outlet for him than anything else. The venue is near our old neighborhood, so instead of making the long drive back, he just stays overnight with friends. It's not my favorite setup, but I've accepted it. I've never wanted to be the kind of spouse who restricts someone from enjoying their hobbies or their autonomy. I think that's a big part of why we work, because we both value independence and space. That being said, I also believe in balance. Relationships take compromise, and when kids are involved, it takes even more. Now, with summer here, our custody agreement shifts. Instead of split weekdays, we go to a week-on, week-off arrangement, which I personally think is great for the kids, less shuffling back and forth, more consistency. But during a conversation recently, it came out that my husband was still planning to play poker every Tuesday night, even during his custody weeks. And not only that, he planned to stay overnight with his friends, just like usual. That hit me hard. I reminded him, calmly at first, that we had always agreed he'd be home any night that the boys were staying with us. That's just been our mutual understanding from the beginning. But his response? He shrugged it off, said he didn't think it was a big deal, that it was just 1 night a week, that I could handle it. And honestly, I don't think I can. Or, at least, I don't want to. I've been very open with my husband about the fact that I don't feel fully comfortable being alone with the boys for long stretches, especially overnight. Don't get me wrong, I care about them deeply. They're great kids in many ways, but they're also teenage boys. They bicker constantly. They push boundaries. And when they fight, they really fight. Like throwing punches, screaming, doors slamming, it's a lot. I'm not their biological parent, and I've always felt that discipline is something their dad needs to lead on. I support him. I reinforce expectations when he's here. But when he's not here, and they're arguing or physically fighting, it puts me in a position I'm not comfortable with. I don't feel equipped or authorized, honestly, to step into that role. I shouldn't be the only adult responsible for de-escalating what could be a serious sibling conflict, and yet, that's exactly what I'd be if you were gone. Add to that the fact that, despite not being their mom, I already do so much of the day-to-day parenting work. Because I work from home, I handle school pickups. I plan and cook the meals. I do laundry. I remember who needs what for sports or summer camp or the random theme day at school. I'm the default for scheduling doctors, field trips, you name it. And I do it because I love their dad and I want to be a supportive presence in these kids' lives. But now, he's asking me to take on even more while he heads out to play poker and stay out overnight? That feels unfair. especially because I've communicated clearly that I don't feel safe or supported doing that. There's also the message it sends to the boys. I know he thinks it's just one night, but from their point of view, what does it look like when dad doesn't come home on a night he has custody of them? When the reason isn't work or an emergency, but a poker game and a night out with friends. To me, it says, this hobby is more important than spending time with you. Even if that's not how he means it, kids pick up on that stuff. They're not oblivious. And honestly, I feel like I've already sacrificed a lot so he can keep this hobby. I willingly give up a portion of the already limited alone time we have just so he can go do something he enjoys. I want him to have that space, but I also need him to show up when it matters most. When I pushed back on this, he made me feel like I was being unreasonable, like I was asking too much. But from where I'm standing, this is a completely reasonable boundary. I'm not saying he has to give up poker forever. I'm just saying, if it's your custody week and you're supposed to be home with your kids, be home. That shouldn't feel like a radical ask in a marriage or in parenting. So now I'm stuck in this frustrating loop, trying to hold firm to something that seems so basic and obvious to me, while feeling guilt-tripped into thinking I'm the problem for not wanting to take on something I didn't sign up for. And all I can think is, am I really the one in the wrong here? I keep asking myself, am I being the bad guy? Am I making too big a deal out of this? But deep down, I don't think I am. I think I'm just finally saying, enough. My time, energy, and mental health matter too. So no, I don't think I'm the bad guy. I think I'm finally standing up for myself.